the upper right, in the blue, he is soO! And his opponent down here in the bottom left with one win away. Make some noise for roO! I would expect this to be a long ZVZ. Now, when we think long games, who does it favor, Artosis?
Well, generally rogue. And I mean, looking at this, his mind games have won out. He has gone for a double hatchery before his spawning pool, whereas soO has gone for that spawning pool in between his double hatchery. So a slight edge as far as that's concerned towards rogue, but definitely not enough to decide this series yet.
Chamber now going down on both sides. Rogue's obviously a little bit ahead. And this is actually sizing up to be a pretty solid, standard ZVZ macro game.
So both sides going into kind of a turtled game. Now, will we see both sides also go up to Hive Tech, try to get out things like Vipers, possibly go into a Greater Spire? Or will we see, like from soO previously in a game like this, just bludgeoning, ramming all your roaches everywhere, trying to win right away? Kind of interesting to see rogue dropping this. He doesn't get any army in position, so it looks like he's probably just going to trade off these roaches, do whatever damage he can, but eventually, as you get later in the game, the roach loses value. They can't really attack into masses of lurkers. As that tech tree goes up and up, the roaches do less and less.
The roaches now coming up here. We see soO trying to gear up to defend. The angle here good for soO, but the numbers very good for rogue. The lurkers now moving forward along with some hydras, but soO burrowing so many lurkers, there's no way rogue can engage this position.
A ton of lurkers on both sides. Finally, those roaches in the back getting cleaned up. Rogue continuing to try to push, but he is in the territory of soO, and with this many lurkers, I can't imagine him being broken.
Notice that beautiful arced defense there. Really no way for rogue to favorably engage without eating so many lurker spines it wouldn't make sense. I will say though, rogue is growing at a kind of scary rate, Artosis. We see the bottom right now being taken. I don't see any openings for soO to get down there. This map could very easily be diagonally cut in half.
Yeah, that is very true. And you know what I'm a little bit worried about here for soO isn't just that second place curse, but the fact that this is the area that rogue plays a lot of his games and he has so much experience. You can see him expanding a little bit quicker, getting all his upgrades just a little bit quicker, and utilizing some cool moves like these drops.
Various areas. soO seems to be shifting his attention over to the center left. That's exactly where this drop is not going to be.
Oh, what a masterful move by rogue to lure this entire army over, and now with the burrow movement, roaches moving towards the natural and a giant drop towards the back natural, a lot of damage could be dealt.
Going for the roach ward, it will go down. The key tech structure in a game like this has now been taken out. Meanwhile, roach is spilling into the back. Rogue's drones trying to, soO's drones trying to evacuate.
Oh, it looks like he wants to kill more tech here. Going after the hive, it takes a long time to replace that, but the army of soO comes up. Can he save this hive? A ton of damage being put on it.
It's getting closer and closer to zero. He's trying to shimmy over to the left, and barely soO saves it.
Oh, splitting up a lot of these roaches, though. They've killed that back expansion. The damage is being dealt. All very worthwhile here for rogue, but soO does weather the storm.
soO seems to, although he survived, not be in any kind of position where I think he can, really pull it around here. Rogue getting further and further and further ahead.
Okay, Broodlords are being made right now by rogue. This is what he traded his supply in for. Notice he also has his own Vipers. This is going to turn into a war of those Vipers. Can the abducts land on these Broodlords, or will he counter-abduct the Vipers?
The map, he's hitting them. Trying to get that hive once again. Looks like he will be able to save that with that ability. Actually, excuse me, no he's not.
Are you kidding me?
I didn't think it was gonna work.
Oh!
I thought in that amount of time, surely the Roaches would get back there. I was wrong. Beautiful play. That resets everything.
All right, a little counterattack coming out from soO, sending some Hydras down, sending some Lurkers down, trying to do some damage and keep Rogue busy. Rogue is actually turning around right into the area that these Roaches are hitting. At least soO is keeping Rogue busy.
Not just there, but also down at this base at the bottom. The hatchery getting very low. He could take this out. Meanwhile, soO is being driven back out by the Broodlords of Rogue. We have to ask ourselves, is Rogue making a mistake here by going for such a sluggish army composition? While it is so high-tech and advanced and dangerous, it also can't necessarily get over to soO's side of the map to actually kill him off.
It's a really good point, Tasteless. When you gain power, you lose speed, you lose mobility, but that's still what soO has. He is all over the place right now, trying to get these little bits of damage done, and to be honest, it's working out pretty well.
He's continuing to counter. Rogue may actually just full-on commit. The Broodlords may be too far across the map to have them turn around. He's going for it. Is soO going to be ready? He's coming in. He's chiseling away. You can see soO trying to stay back, looking for the possible opening. When he engages, he has to make sure it works. Here it comes now!
Oh, a huge fungal going down on these Corruptors. Chain fungal continues to land, a lot of damage being dealt. Parasitic bombs all over the Broodlords.
We see soO's supply getting lower and lower. The fungals continuing to chain. The Broodlords push forward as this base goes down.
These Hydras dealing so much damage to the anti-air of soO. He loses his base and must withdraw from the area. More Corruptors on the way. soO is going to have to keep on making these units, remove these Broodlords, and somehow deal with the ground army of Rogue.
soO pulling further and further back into his remaining bases. Rogue has no intention of turning around. He's continuing to push forward, hoping to divide the upper left and upper right bases in half.
Great moves with these Broodlords right now, picking off some Lurkers so his Hydras can come forward. So much damage being dealt. Rogue very patient with this, but a huge amount of Corruptors comes in.
Corruptors coming from 180 degrees. He's trying to hold on. He's trying to deny this. We have Infested Terrans coming up, trying to gun them down from the sky.
But he does remove all those Broodlords. The Infested Terrans adding a lot of health, adding a lot of damage here. But soO somehow holding on throughout all of this.
soO surviving a little bit longer, but Rogue isn't done yet. But soO, once again, coming in here, trying to deny any more Broodlords or anything else that could try to come in here. Sorry, Overseers, excuse me, they're trying to come in here and help him defend.
soO right now adding a lot of Lurkers into his army. He needs a strong ground force. Rogue with only ground units at this point. These Corruptors picking off the detection. That means his Lurkers won't be seen.
He's gonna survive for a little bit longer. He's just hanging on. Rogue, though, eager to push in. The other Overseer does come in again. The Lurker's beginning to be gunned down, but the Corruptor is taken out once more.
soO with a magical hold right here, knocking out the detection time and time again. But the army of Rogue continues to rally across the map. His economy is so strong right now, and his supply much superior to soO's.
Rogue getting closer and closer to getting towards the remain. The Lurkers now being gunned down. There's too much. There's too many. There's no stopping Rogue now.
Rogue going up into the natural here, killing off one of the last areas of soO.
GG! He has done it. Rogue is your 2017 WCS World Champion.